Meet Pauline Potter, an American woman who has made it into the Guinness Book of Records as the heaviest woman in the world, weighing an incredible 292 kilograms. She broke her own record a few years later, reaching nearly 310 kilograms, a weight much higher than that of a typical person who usually weighs around 70 to 80 kilograms. But Pauline's extreme weight didn't just attract media attention, but also the attention of many doctors, caregivers, and social issues. So today, we want to take you into her daily life and show you what a day in the life of the heaviest woman in the world is like. We'll also explain how she reached this extreme weight, and in the end, we'll present how Pauline is doing in 2023. It's going to be very interesting and a bit surprising, so let's get started. Starting with Pauline's daily life, the American lives with her adult son Dylan in Sacramento, California. Like in the lives of most people, Pauline's day begins early in the morning. However, the heaviest woman in the world doesn't sleep in a regular bed, but in a specially designed bed to support her weight. Furthermore, she sleeps in an almost sitting position, fearing being suffocated by her own weight while sleeping. Getting up is also a major challenge for the 300-kilogram woman. Pauline constantly relies on assistance. Typically, her 21-year-old son Dylan takes care of her, but her niece from Berlin also visits her several times a week. She takes care of the physical care, but as Pauline no longer fits in the shower, she needs to sit before her niece can wash her hair. The rest of her body is cleaned with several towels in bed. Then Dylan takes over the rest of the care, as his mother needs help getting dressed. While other 21-year-olds are out partying and enjoying their freedom, Dylan has to help his mother put on her pants, as Pauline can no longer bend down. For the young man, it's an extreme situation that deeply affects his life. Because he's constantly taking care of his mother, doing the laundry and shopping, he has no job or friends. He lives in isolation, and the sight of his partially dressed mother is already a sad norm for him. After getting dressed, he needs to take care of breakfast. However, Pauline's breakfast doesn't consist of cereals, fruits, or yogurt. Instead, she likes to eat something heavy in the morning, and Dylan fetches breakfast from a nearby fast food restaurant. In general, everything in her life revolves around food, and the American consumes up to 10,000 calories a day. Her diet mainly consists of unhealthy foods. She eats several burgers a day, drinks liters of soda, and snacks on ice cream and sweets. And she doesn't eat at the kitchen table, but in bed or on the couch. She spends most of the day at home, as any physical movement causes her great pain. Her knees, in particular, are damaged due to her weight, and every step requires tremendous effort. To remain mobile, Pauline relies on a special electric wheelchair. Until some time ago, she used to take city tours with it. And a special bus would pick her up from home. This bus had a hydraulic ramp, but now, apparently, Pauline has become so heavy that the hydraulics can't handle her weight. This is not only frustrating, Pauline is also very embarrassed by it. She suffers greatly from the situation. Even when she wants to accompany her son to the supermarket, she faces a big challenge since she doesn't fit in the family car. Therefore, the car has to approach her, and Pauline follows in her wheelchair. But why did Pauline become so obese, and what led to her unfortunate world record? To answer that, we need to take a look into the American's past. Pauline Potter was born in 1963 in California, USA. She had a happy childhood, and her weight was within the normal range for a long time. At the age of 6, however, her parents divorced, and her mother had to take care of Pauline and her 5 siblings alone. The family faced significant financial difficulties, and on some days, they didn't even have money for food. Therefore, Pauline and her siblings went hungry, and it was only when her father returned to the family that the financial situation improved. However, emotionally, Pauline was still deeply affected, and the fear of going hungry began to dominate her life. Since childhood, she would sneak into the kitchen at night to eat secretly, and at the age of 8, her drastic weight gain began. At 19, she already weighed 130 kilograms, and in her mid-20s, she had her son Dylan and already weighed over 180 kilograms at the time. Even her later husband, Alex, did not support her in weight loss. On the contrary, he loved every pound of her and fed her fast food so she would gain even more weight. Eventually, she separated from him, but the heartbreak made her eat even more, and at the age of 40, she reached almost 310 kilograms. Pauline suffers from being unable to move, but she's also constantly exposed to the stares and hostilities of other people. Even at home, she often doesn't find peace because children and teenagers often appear at her window and mock Paulina. She also feels guilty towards her son. She is aware that she is responsible for her situation and said in an interview that her severe overweight is mainly due to her eating behavior. Although there is a genetic predisposition in her family, a medical cause has also been ruled out by doctors. Therefore, her situation was supposed to fundamentally change in 2016. The daily routine we just presented is no longer current in 2023. Pauline finally wanted to lead a normal life again and decided to seek help from a specialist. So Pauline Potter decided to participate in the television program My 600 LB Life, which documents the journey of people with morbid obesity in search of a healthier life. During her participation in the program, Pauline Potter faced an emotional challenge to combat her morbid obesity. Under the guidance of Dr. Nozaradon, she embarked on a lifestyle change journey, which involved adhering to a strict diet and attempting to incorporate physical exercise into her routine. Before her stomach could be reduced, Pauline had to lose weight drastically. Finally, the time came, and the single mother had the long-awaited surgery that would change her life. In the following years, she faced diets and serious setbacks. Pauline needed emergency surgery due to a stomach problem, and other surgeries to remove excess skin were also scheduled. But Pauline didn't give up, and today, years after the surgery, she is almost unrecognizable. She has lost an incredible over 200 kilograms, and now in 2023, her current weight is not precisely disclosed, but it is speculated that she now weighs between 77 and 81 kilograms. She now pays attention to her diet, counts calories, and exercises. Her life and that of her son have changed dramatically, and Pauline feels good in her body. She has also sworn never to return to her old habits and has become an example for many people. This concludes our video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'd be happy to hear your comments about Pauline and her struggle with excess weight. Also, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time here. Goodbye.